Welcome, my name's Jahla and I'm recording a little True News update from Ghana country. It's the 2nd of January 2023 and the year is off to a strong start for me anyway, and the beautiful women that helped me have a really fun first day yesterday, which was awesome. You know, making plans for what it is that we're creating and co-creating together. Good stuff, peace, freedom, healing, big focus on healing because trauma recovery is a real thing. And the reality that, you know, still many people don't want to talk about is that there's ongoing genocide. It's, you know, a lot to process, but the people pretending to be the authorities, the government, are criminals who are actively pushing out bad information, bad medicine, bad policy. It's all death cult run, death culture. It's making people sick, keeping people enslaved and disempowered, and it's really just not good. So we've got to come back to the land and back to listening to our elders, our earth elders, our real original sovereigns who hold the earth law, the ancient earth law, the right to be the ones that are respected when it comes to how do we actually look after Mother Earth and heal humanity so that we've all got somewhere to live and our kids have got somewhere to live. I was watching one of Grandpa Louis' videos that he made where he got painted up the other night, and oh, I love you, Louis. So much wisdom, such simple stuff. And Louis used to watch the telly and I'd be like, why are you watching it? It's all lies, you know? He's like, I've got to watch it so I know what all the people think. You know, that's where they're getting their information. That's what all the people, how they base their decision making for their lives is based on what comes out of their televisions, which is so dangerous. We've got to do it differently. We've got to start, you know, talking to each other and amongst ourselves and sharing information honestly. And I've been putting out, you know, really good, honest information for a long time, and my True News gets very few views, but put up a video of my legs and a cat and, you know, viral. It's got a cat in it. Like, people, where are we putting our attention? What do we care about? Do we care about the children that actually, you know, are waiting for us to get our act together? Kids need us. The kids need us. That's the reality. So in working with Grandmother Mina, we're all about solutions. You know, we don't want to bang on about the painful past. There's nothing we can do to change anything that's happened in the past. We can acknowledge it. We can admit that what's happened is horrendous and should never have happened, and we feel, you know, great grief, and great shame. You know, that we have been so terrible to each other, terrible to the living earth. You know, we've done a bad job. Not all of us, some have been holding it down for humanity. The real originals, the real elders that have held to the earth law are absolute heroes of humanity, heroes, universally so. There would be no earth for anybody else to be living on if it were not for the earth elders. So people should, you know, get some perspective, you know, where you pay your homage. You know, who is it that you honour? The honourable. Who are the honourable people? I can assure you the honourable people are not the magical magistrates that deal in fraud, law and human trafficking. That's not honourable. The truly honourable people are the ones keeping their families alive against all the odds, with an entire system deployed against them, targeting them. Grandmother Mina is keeping 4 grandchildren alive. She looks after them full time because her daughter Jade was killed in this ongoing genocide. The satanic state system and all of the intergenerational trauma that she'd been subjected to killed her. There was no real help when she needed it. Mina had to bury Jahla on the 22nd of May last year. Can't even imagine. But no rest, because there's babies, children to look after, to keep alive, to keep going. You got to keep going every day. And instead of being bitter and resentful, Mina is so loving and kind, and she's still holding space for us to come and sit with her, peace talks, to share, so she can share the ancient earth law culture and wisdom with us, to help us to wake up to where we are, here in her country, Ghana country, the country of her ancestors, and learn about the medicine, the plants, and the love that we're meant to have in our hearts for each other, that we've forgotten about because we're all distracted with things that don't mean anything. Got to come back to just what's real and, you know, the heart of our shared humanity and helping each other. What's gone on with the media and the messaging that they're putting out about the original people and the original children in particular is absolutely criminal. It's evil. It's actually just straight up evil. I need you to imagine that you're a young original in your country, this is your ancestors' country, you know, this is your country. And what are the messages about you and your people that come out through the TV daily, through the news, and through all of the fake history, you know, about the great Captain Cook, 3 schools. All of the messages are that original people are criminals. That's the way they're branded, or savages, less than human. It's still going on, still. It's disgusting. Oh my goodness, it's so disgusting. The way the original people have been cast, you know, in the narrative that's controlled by the Freemason pedophiles. They make the young originals not want to be originals. They don't want to be originals. It's heartbreaking. They're the first humans of Earth. With the DNA bloodline connection to, you know, prove they were here. They've been here since the beginning. They've got all of that universal wisdom of humanity and the living spiritual connection with the land and all of the living things, all of sacred life. They're very, very precious people. They're treasures of the living earth. And everybody of good conscience should be protecting the original people, standing up for them, speaking up for them, not allowing these pedophiles in Parliament to use their pedo militia, which is the corporate police, to continually attack and target and hunt and lock the original people in cages. They're still doing it. They're doing it to Grandmother Mina's daughter Jade, who's a brave frontline freedom fighter, standing up for the truth, for her people, for her country, to say, stop paying the rent. We're not paying you to live in our own country, you invading criminals. We don't have to pay you to live in our own country. This is our country. Also, the rest of you that acknowledge that this is our country, you stop paying too. We'll all stop paying. And what happens? She gets targeted by a gang of SAPOL who come to her house and assaulted her in a violent home invasion, broke her finger, left her bruised all over, dragged her through the cages, and then they want to summon her to appear in their fraud court, their fraud law, Freemason pedophile court on the 19th of January, because they're charging her with assault. Can you not see the pattern, guys? Can you not see the pattern? It's all upside down. It's all upside down. We've got criminals running the system and using it to perpetuate genocide, knowingly and deliberately. And that's the reality. And until we are willing to see that for what it is, it's not going to change, and they're going to deploy their satanic state system against the wider community. They already are doing that. We've seen it with all of the COVID fraud, you know, wiping out the oldies, pushing this poison on our children, genetic modification shots. Insanity, absolute insanity. And we've got the medicine, we've got the cure, we've got the lawful remedy, which is just come together and sit down with our elders, talk truth, and focus on healing, focus on peace and healing, and things will shift and change in miraculous ways. It's just about come back to the heart of our shared humanity and helping each other. You know, when the original women and the original children are safe and they have peace in their country, that safety, you know, and that peace will be available to us all. We can all enjoy it together. But while they're still under attack, it's only right that everybody should have to be subjected to the same. You know, not we have a law that treats the original people like less than human, you know, animals that nobody cares about, and who cares how many are locked in cages for how long? No one cares. Who cares if they're rounding up 10-year-old children and locking them in cages? Who cares? Not our problem. The authorities are taking care of it. Not good enough. Not even close. That's not law. Blatant criminality. And the rest of the people turning a blind eye to that, you're all complicit. So your job is to care. That's your job. Care. Care about each other. Care about the children. And say, how can we help? What can we do? What do you need? How can we turn this around? It's not rocket science. We can sort this out, guys. I got so much more true news to share, but that's enough for today.